I could really use some help right now. And our ideas and concepts of helping another person is more, don't throw at me your ideas and concepts of what is help. I know what I need, and it's my job to be able to um, communicate effectively what it is I need in my asking for help. And that's kind of what we all do. And to explain what I need help, you kind of have to see the big picture. And I've designed this channel um, as more like a diary for myself. They say that if you keep a diary, you can kind of improve your life. Now let's sort of look at the concept of what a diary does. And it's like you write in a book, and you vent away. And those people that I see that write in their books, their diaries, the only time that it seems to be effective is that when they go back in time and say, oh, 10 years, this is what I was thinking about. Boy, was I wrong. So it's a diary is only good if you go back and look at what you've done and seen, oh boy, was I wrong. And something really, really interesting has happened to me today. Um, my daughter has done something that she's not too happy with today, and she realizes that she didn't have patience. This is what she's going to blame the problem on, is that she doesn't have patience. And then she says, well, I got that from you, Mom. You don't have patience. And yeah, you're right. I'm not a patient person. And when I kind of look back on where are the times that I wasn't patient, and it was like, okay, when my kids needed food, and the husband at the time didn't give a shit about working and providing for his family and getting food on the table, I was kind of impatient at trying to have a conversation of, okay, as a family, how are we going to put food on the table? Kind of wanted the problem to be solved because everybody was a little hungry, but patience was me sitting and ignoring the problem until the problem just went away. We had bills that needed to be paid, and, he's working and makes damn good money, but spends all the money on himself, and kind of was impatient about having a conversation of, is what we spend money on exactly the right thing? Like it, men tend to go into a cave. They don't want to communicate until they formulate an answer, formulate a way of, how do I solve this problem? Where women are tending to not be very patient because they recognize the problem needs to be fixed, let's deal with it now. No, the communication between men and women are so screwed up because men want to go in their cave and be patient, and women want to solve the problem right away. you know and why? Because women are tending to look after kids, and kids have needs right away. So it kind of is the push, the driving force between women having to solve problems right away, because we're dealing with the friggin' problems all the time. And if you don't deal and solve with problems as they come up, they only grow. So then what happened after that? Well, I went to the store, and who crosses my path while I'm walking to the store? These two people that look identical to my son, who I went and sent a card and a flower, and, forgave him for, what he's doing, and still love him. And he says he loves me and that we should talk. We need to communicate. And yet he hasn't phoned. It's going on 3 weeks yet. And that's the way he planned his wedding. That's kind of what I'm pissed off about, is that he planned this wedding and he just wanted me to be patient. And it's like, okay, you're planning a wedding where it's next to impossible for me to get there, because it was in a different country, and it took finances and planning, but there was no conversation, there was no communication. And when I went months waiting for this conversation of, how are we going to pull this off, the communication stopped. We don't want to talk to you even more now because you wanted to solve a problem. So at the end of the day, he gets married without me, causes a lot of pain. And it's like, then I got to be the bigger person and say, oh, sorry, forgive you, kind of want you in my life. And that only teaches him to not do it anymore. But anyways, I run into, you know, these two people that look identical, identical. My heart's beating. I'm like, you're kidding me. You're gonna walk right past your mother and not even recognize you walk past your mother, you know? And the only thing that got me to realize it wasn't him is they were walking a dog and they don't have a dog. And then I kind of took another look and it's like, okay, they're about 20 pounds heavier than what your current weight. So, but it's like, okay, why did I cross paths with that? You know, and then my ex-husband is moving to the same town as me. Never fails. Wherever I leave, this man follows me all over the place. And um, right away, what happens is like you associate. You start associating all of the negative shit that he pulled on me before. So that's where I'm at, is like I'm getting all of this friggin' negative energy. I got some guy that's believing in God that thinks that I'm full of shit and full of Satan, and the idea to live and solve problems is, you know, I'm delusional, that no, we just need to believe in Jesus and, you know, accept death and, you know, get full of Jesus and to get an eternal life there, and anything else is a delusion. You know, so I've got this negative energy coming from that guy. I got my ex-husband moving into town, and I'm like, oh my God, this is a really, really evil thing. It's so much negative energy coming at me, you know, and where I notice is when things end up happening, it's like, you know, somebody gave me a gift, and it's this, you know, positive energy that, you know, okay, now I'm working on this positive energy in my house, and all of a sudden a whole pile of negative energy is coming at me. What's with that? And um, I notice the same patterns. I see patterns everywhere. The hardest thing is to see your own friggin' pattern. And it's really, really hard for me to see my own pattern. And my pattern is okay, if this guy's moving to town, it's time to get scared. You know, it's time to really feel all the feelings of all of the abusive things this man has done, and to assume and anticipate that he's just going to do a lot more evil things, you know, like, because that's the brain, the way the brain works. So where I could use some help is I know that it's a wrong thing to do. I know that if I live in the fear, um, then I end up creating and seeing more and more things to be fearful of. I notice that um, when, you know, I'm looking for positive and then negative shows up, it's so easy to say, no, that's negative, and get caught up and live in that negative aspect of life, where I need to make a shift and say, no, this is a good thing. I just don't know why. You know, like the ex is moving into town, you know, the son is not phoning, this Christian guy is in my face, and it's like, okay, it all feels really, really, really bad, but somehow it's all a good thing. And that's what I kind of need help with, is constant positive energy that's coming at me, that's kind of a reminder. Remember, Judy, this is a good thing. What's good about this? That's the only thing I need help with, is if I end up getting caught up in the negative energy, you know, in some of the responses that I'm making in my posts, or if I end up making another video, if you see me going into this, oh, this is dead wrong, this is so negative, that, you know, then ask me the question, okay, Judy, what's positive about this? What's the good thing about all of this? Get my mind. Try and help me get out of my own mind of the same patterns of looking at things as being negative. Because this is something that's really, really powerful on me. I need to start really looking at the things that have caused me the most pain in my life and see where is the goodness in that. There is something good about it. I just can't see it right now, but I know it has to be something positive. Otherwise, when I'm, you know, setting myself up to attract positive, why does negative show up? Well, it only appears negative when you first look at it, but it, you know, transforming stuff, you know, it's not always going to be positive stuff that just comes out. It's a matter of you transforming that negative into a positive, and that's kind of my game, kind of what I know I got to do. And sometimes I get off my own track. I know that I'm preaching an awful lot that, hey, we need to solve our problems and we need to not die. And I'm not getting the strength or this will to live enough to not have this evil um, take hold of me. So I end up smoking, and then the evil is like right there. I know the evil of the smoking says I gotta be stronger. I got to, show how to live. I've got to be the example of what it is I'm talking about. And right now, all it is a concept that, okay, I know these are the rules that you should be living your life, and I know that this is like 1 + 1 adds up 2. I know that there's zero contradictions in this concept that I've kind of researched and discovered. I've used it myself, but it's got to be a constant, as soon as you get over one, there's going to be another one, and until we fix up this whole freaking globe, you know, I am playing in the same game. I can't just be all talk. I got to fall into my own path, which means I know without a doubt I got to go out and jog. I know I've got to quit smoking. I know I've got to have that strength. So where I also could use some help is just give me messages that say, yeah, things are changing, things are getting better. Like I need a lot of positive energy that says, you're doing good, um, you're on the right path. I am getting some of those comments. It really, really is helpful. But I have to teach myself to jump into that and really, stop the smoking addiction. The urge for the smoking addiction needs to be gone. And I need to be the example of what it is I'm talking about, and the smoking addiction wants me dead because, there's peace. There's that eternal peaceful life at death, and it's like that's my biggest fight with all aspects of evil. It's like, no, we're supposed to live. And I'm failing to teach my smoking addiction how to live. So that's on me. Diary. It's in your face. Judy, you're fucking up. So, but it is that negative energy just wraps around you, especially when somebody keeps telling you you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're evil, you're Satan, you're going down the wrong path. And it's like, what's wrong with the path of living? And it's like, okay, gotta ask myself, why is it I'm not living? Why is it I'm not going out there and exercising and doing everything that I know I need to do? So I'm really going to work really hard at getting this transformation in myself and being that example myself. Peace out.